dear colleagues and my friends. Welcome. So today we have a very exciting webinar about one of the most important in ESP sphere. The topic is about how to make online ESP classes more engaging. So today we have a special guest, and Nodira Isamukhamedova, MA in TESOL from the University of Leeds, from the National PhD from the National University of Uzbekistan, and is currently the online and technology liaison instructor at Polycultural Immigrant and Community Services, Toronto, Canada, and Ontario, right? And she is also founder of Mentor Hub, and she is also professional distance education developer. Welcome to our session, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Nodira, we do hope that our session will be useful and informative one.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Nazakat, for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure to talk to you and get connected. So yeah, I didn't advertise this on Mentor Hub. As actually, I love this kind of cozy webinars when the number of participants are limited, so that we can interact more, right? So we can get engaged more, right? So if you have any questions, we can discuss the success that you're experienced, or the lessons learned, the problems that you're experiencing.
Nodira, can I ask one thing? And would you like to answer our question if it's interesting for us in a chat box? Can we just leave our comments or questions concerning the topic, or after the webinar, or as you go on here?
I think I prefer as I go, because, as I said, we have a limited number of participants, so I want to make this as interactive and engaging as possible. So please feel free to ask any questions. You can raise your hands, and if you want to unmute your microphones and ask, or if you want to type it in the chat box, please do. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Let's get started then.
Right. Hold on, yes, something was wrong with my internet. Okay, Nazakat, I'll leave you the to admit participants, okay, as they come, so that I don't bother that. Okay, so let's start then. So at the very beginning, I just wanted to kind of remind some principles of good education. They are not specifically about online education, or not specifically about ESP, but Clara has justly mentioned actually the future is about ESP, and I think like it's not only the future. I think like any English language classroom is ESP, even now, right? Because we learn English, every person probably, or every classroom, they have a specific purpose of learning English. So, and then the principles that apply to classrooms, they also apply to the online education. So one of the kind of popular teaching, good practice in teaching undergraduate students were developed by Chikrin and Gamson, and they talk about 7 principles that involve encouraging contact between students and faculty. So that means like to have a effective education, there should be interaction between the teacher and the students, and we all agree that, right? So there should be the cooperation among students. We should encourage active learning. So, and that's probably the topic of today. So how we can engage them in the learning, right? So they do something, right? Not just they're passive and just listen or read, but they actively involved. Giving in prompt feedback, so not delayed, but feedback, giving feedback on a regular basis on time is also crucial to learning. Emphasizing time on task, that means managing the time and encouraging learners to manage time. So therefore we set deadlines, right? So that to encourage their time management skills. Communicate high, otherwise, you know, if it is kind of indefinite, you know, there are many like people when they take these MOOCs, for example, massive online open courses, right? So most of them, they're kind of unlimited period of time, and then many people, they start, but then the motivation falls down because, you know, there's not kind of when you say you can do whenever you want, so people tend to lose their motivation. Communicate high expectations. That's I think it's very true about online education, because before last year, many teachers and learners, right, were kind of dreading about online education and saying, oh no, I cannot do that, or my students cannot do that, we don't have internet, and etc., etc. But I think since pandemic, it showed that if we communicate, if we set high expectations, then both teachers and students will aspire to that, right? So like what we say in Uzbek, right? So like set high goals, right? So that if you don't expect them to do something right high, so then they will never do that, right? So that's about that. And the last but not the least is about respecting diverse talents and ways of learning. And we all know, like, it might be these different sensory learning styles, like auditory, visual, tactile, or can be theorists, reflectors, observers, and many different types of learners and talents. You know, some people are good at drawing, or like they have natural talents, or they have, yeah, people might have different skills and competencies that would be useful in mastering any content, right? So they can utilize those talents. So as I said, all these apply to online education as well. And when one of these principles are not kind of, and these are also kind of the things that we should all aspire to. So we have to try to make sure that all our lessons are, they align with these principles. And I wanted to ask, yeah, so active learning, as I said, engaging, right? First of all, I wanted to ask you, what do you do to keep your students engaged, whether it's online or in the classroom? Could you please share in the chat box some of the ideas, like what do you usually do? You may also mention or any online tools that you use or anything. So how do you make sure that you encourage active learning? Or if anyone wants to speak up, you can unmute your microphone.
May I say something?
Yes, please, Nigina Bono.
Hello. Yeah, it's me. I'm Miss Kurbanova Nigina Bono from the Tashkent State University of Economics. And depending on what kind of session is which is being conducted by me, I try to involve and engage the students according to their interests. As it's not a secret that it is harder to engage the students if it's online sessions, because most of the time they claim about bad internet and connection issues and some device issues, right? And in this case, once, for example, I tried several types of engagement. Once I tried to tell all my students just to unmute their microphones, but it was not so much successful in terms of noise that could be appeared from the side of the student, right? And I tried to, for example, when we are in the offline session, I try not to sit and just talk. I try to concise teacher time and focus on students' time mostly. So, for example, if a student, because in every group we can have different level students, right? Diversity, as in the principles we can see that we have to respect the diversity talents, right? And in the groups there are so many diversity skills developed, and for example, I try to avoid the similarity of the activities that I am conducting during the session. For example, I try to implement all the skills developing activities such as reading, listening, writing, speaking. And what I realized and noticed most, it appeared to me that my students, they were mostly interested in speaking activities. So depending on their needs, depending on their interests, I tried to come up with the activities. And so this is some of my suggestions. Yeah, here, by the way, in online sessions, depending on my own internet connection, I try to use such online tools as mind mapping in the Koggle It tool, it's online tool, Quizlet, Kahoot. Sometimes we use it because these tools can be very effective in involving and this is kind of both sides, involving and entertainment for the students. So in these, using these tools, they can feel their competitiveness and so on.
Okay, thank you, Nigina. Yeah, Nigina Bono. Yes, you're absolutely right. So it might be a bit more challenging to engage students when you're doing online because you don't kind of see them, right? So yeah, and one of the things you have to do is kind of give them tasks and kind of call them, saying like volunteer them to do some tasks, right? Yeah, to keep them engaged. Yeah, and I saw the very good ideas in the chat box. So Gulnora, Clara is using polls. Gulnora is using Kahoot for formative assessment, case studies. Nazima wrote online games, Quizlet, Padlet, and different other online interesting web pages. Corpus-based tasks and research, Nazokat, organized classroom discussion, integrate modern technology. Okay, so what do you mean by modern technology, Nazokat? May I ask, do you want to elaborate on that?
So I think we most of the class on Zoom, we just use many types of websites or some IT programs in order to show them. And that means many of the students are keen on modern technology, IT, and other programs. They get bored even when we are busy with the reading or listening as well in the online session as well. So we have some challenges during the lesson. In this case, So we have to try to use the IT programs as well.
Yeah, can you name any that you're using?
Some of the, so we have to use on internet interactional, so some kind of games online or something like that on a website, different website we have. And could you just suggest some of the, in order to make more engaging the students, I mean, ESP sphere?
Right. So yes, so I want to launch a polling and see which online tools do you usually use to keep your students engaged. You can choose as many as you want. So it's a multiple choice. Could you please vote? Can you see the poll on your screens? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 10 people, 11 people answered, voted. Just wait one or two more minutes. So it's 45%, not even a half. Come on, be more engaged in the webinar about engaging learners. First of all, we ourselves should be engaged, right, in what we're doing. It is true, I think, right? So like when students see that we are passionate and we're engaged and we are there, right, for them, it's contagious, usually. Nazoka, did you close the poll?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so, okay, 12 people voted. Oops, what did you... Could you please stop flickering? Yeah, I lost the... Okay. Okay. Well, sorry, and Nazokat for some reason relaunched it. So could you please vote it again because I couldn't see the results. Yeah, Nazokat, could you please not to touch anything?
Hello, I voted.
Yes, please. Could you please vote again because
Once more.
Yeah, pardon me.
Once more, shall I?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah, sorry, there was some technical glitch and I couldn't see the results.
But I couldn't see that.
No, you cannot see again. So probably you voted the second time.
Yeah,
okay.
I have
Okay.
already.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's wait a couple of minutes. Great, Nigina Bono mentioned Flipgrid, and yeah, I just wanted to write it here, but then I forgot. So Voicethread and Flipgrid, they are basically more or less the same kind of tool. Yeah, so if you
yeah, I presumed also that they are the same, but
yeah,
the Flipgrid.
Yeah, well, they are different apps, but they do basically the same thing, almost the same thing. Yeah, if you know how to use one of them, it's both.
Good. Yeah, very good, helpful tool, you know, in terms of
right,
having the shy students when they do not want to talk in front of their friends, and we can use this tool just to have them the space of speaking, and it helps me.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll end the poll. So the 11 teachers out of 23 voted. So as we see, the most popular tool is Kahoot, so 91%, so about 10 teachers mentioned that they use it. Yeah, and it is a great tool. The only thing that I don't like about Kahoot is that they need 2 devices, right? Or 2 tabs. They have to open 2 tabs, right? So they need to look at the screen and then they need to answer the questions on a different app, right? If it is live, right? But you can assign this as a homework, then they can do on their own, right? And then another thing that I don't like about Kahoot, and my kids don't like it actually, is that it's a lot about time, right? So like how fast you press the correct answer, right? So like you're millisecond behind, and then that means you're kind of behind the leaderboard. So that's kind of the drawback, and it is fun to do from time to time, but keep in mind that maybe not everyone likes that, being so much competitive. You know, they get frustrated when they don't win, especially kids. You know, yeah. There's Quizlet is the second, this runner-up, right? And then quizzes. That's great. So yeah. They're all very good tools, and others warm-up activities, discussions, and others. Okay. Okay, great. So only one person said they want to learn of them. Okay, so they don't use them, but they want to learn. I'll mainly talk about this Edpuzzle today. It's only one person voted that he or she knows about it, uses them. So so I hope whoever is this, so they will help me. One of the things that I wanted to mention, I think that's easy one. So I'll show like 2 tools mainly today. One is very easy. Probably most of you already been using Jeopardy Games. They are usually fun, right? And it has instant feedback. They collaborate with not only the teacher, but collaborate with their peers, right? So in that sense, I think Jeopardy Games, great tool to use during synchronous learning, right? During your Zoom sessions, or you can do them in your classrooms as well, right? Have you ever used this jeopardylabs.com?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Students love it very much. It's very interesting. My students prefer to work on this as a team, not as an individual.
Exactly, right. Yeah, that's true. And it is great, right? So it's great when they, they negotiate the answers, right? And they try to beat the team, right? So kind of, yeah, I think that's a great tool to play in teams. Yeah. And the good thing is,
I can also say I usually use the Jeopardy, and the students were very interested in that. So they asked every time, let's play Jeopardy game today.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So you can do this for revision, right? Exercises, you can create your own. But this Jeopardy Labs also has some ready-made, and since like you teach mainly the English for economics, right, or English for business purposes. So I even found this about microeconomics. So there is a ready one that you can play with them. It's mainly kind of vocabulary task, but also, yeah, so if you don't know, so you can choose the number of teams, then you just start. Teams, they can give names to their teams. You can rename the teams here, right? I don't know, all figures. Right. Whatever, you can rename the teams, right, to make it more engaging and fun. So the teams take turns to choose the category and the value of the task, right? So here's the question, they answer it, and then you can reveal the correct answer, right? So it's when the quantity supplied exceeds the demand for that product or service, so there's surplus, right? So this way you can use that. So you can search any kind of topics that you would like, or it can be just grammar, can be vocabulary, anything. So click on browse, and you can write, like search any topic that you like. Okay. Yeah. What are the topics that you usually teach in your universities? The topics. Do you teach any topics?
Yes, sure. Based on the syllabus that is made for us.
Yeah, can you name any? Because I have never seen your syllabus.
Of course. Business fundamentals, for example, we had different topics such as business fundamentals, entrepreneurship, cutting costs, and the topics are mostly based on economics theory, like economical side.
Yes.
But at the same time, we had some grammar input as well. For example, in the grammar, we were teaching as an ESP teacher, like present perfect, continuous, present simple.
Yeah. Great. Yes. So this way you can search, right? So it says business fundamentals. So I got here finance unit acronym quiz. So you may, and the good thing is that you can edit this Jeopardy games. So when you click here, say edit, and you can delete any questions that you don't want to use, that might be too difficult. So for that, you have to log in, you have to sign up for that. So it's free, you just join it, you just clone and edit. That means you kind of copy it to your own account, and then you can edit it. For example, you see like, I don't want this question. You can just click on delete. Okay, or you can add, so you can edit it. Okay, that was the one tool that I wanted to share. Any comments? Do you like to try? Have you ever edited these Jeopardy games, or have you created your own, or have you just browsed it?
As for me, I create myself as we finish one unit. It's almost 4 lessons. And the interesting thing is the students, they really would like to see their results. I mean, what do you think, teacher? Did we cover this good or not? And then I just prepare this kind of activity. But I prefer to use it for individuals, but they always make pairs or, I don't know, small team, and they prefer to be in teams. And of course, I don't object. I said, okay, if you would like. And of course, it's a bit challenging for me to identify who answered, who answered well or not. But this is team, But anyway, they love it. They, sometimes while reading the questions, they said, we covered this as well, but we forgot about this. This is somehow reminding them what we covered during the lessons. Well,
right.
Yeah, this is not only assessing or
it's a revision, right? Recycling, revision.
Sometimes they comment on their answers, and while the others listen to them, they said, this is something new idea, new approach.
Right.
I like this stuff. I don't care about who got 5 or 4, but in general, they all involved into this process, and they learn. Sometimes I observe how they make notes on their papers. I love this process.
That's great. That's awesome. That's absolutely right. So you can use it mainly for revisions, but you can also use it for diagnostic purposes, seeing what they know, what they don't know, and then you can do these kind of preliminary, and then you can decide what you need to teach, right? So yeah, this is, I think, a good tool. So I'll leave it to you to explore, and you can use that. Yeah, let me move on. So next thing I wanted to talk is about Edpuzzle. So Edpuzzle is a tool that allows to make interactive videos. And we all know that there are lots of benefits of using videos in the classroom, right? Because they're real life tasks, they integrate all the skills and language areas, right? Besides, so they're good for visual learners, auditory learners. And then because they're interactive, they're great for tactile learners as well. So I think it's a great tool to use on the videos. So we'll go to the Edpuzzle. Okay. For Edpuzzle, you have to sign up for that. Okay, let me go. I'm signed in already. Let me show you quickly how it looks. Oh no, well, I have to log out, so I don't want to log out, but it's pretty straightforward. You need just yeah, when you go to the web homepage, so it asks you to log in or sign up. So you choose sign up if it is the first time you're using it. Then it asks whether you're a teacher or a student. You're a teacher, obviously. And then yeah, this is something we'll discuss later. Okay, yes, the Edpuzzle. Okay, right, okay. Yeah, Nigina Bonus, thank you for reminding. So I forgot to share in the chat box. I will share the Google Slides so that you can explore. This was from the Jeopardy. Yeah. And in general, Jeopardy.lab. So this is the homepage. Okay, so now let's turn to Edpuzzle, and then if you're willing, yeah, you can click on Edpuzzle now and sign up so that you can try it out just on the spot, you know, because in many cases, if you don't try it immediately, then you just forget. That happens to many of us, right? We attend so many webinars and conferences, and then we just forget about them, right? So it's good to try it. So once you're there, once you signed in, it brings you here, and then you can choose any videos to create your quizzes based on the videos. They have some popular channels, but if you know specific video and on YouTube, for example, then you can just copy the URL and bring it here, or you can search the channels. Edpuzzle, so they have already ready-made made by teachers, and you can search this. For example, the topics that you were mentioning, I don't remember, but what is entrepreneurship, right? Let's see if I can spell it correctly. I hope it's correct. Yeah, almost. Yeah, right. So for example, here's a video intro to entrepreneurship, you know, it's a fact. So you see there are lots of different videos already there. Thank you. You're hired to the University of Economics. Obviously, I'm not. I cannot spell entrepreneurship. Yeah, you choose any ones. Which one you want to try? Any preferences?
The first one.
The first one? Okay. So this is a sample to show how it looks. Let me turn on the, I'll stop sharing for now, as I'm not sure if I clicked on the sound. I'll share the sound. Okay, so this is the how it looks. So this is the video once students start playing it.
What makes someone an entrepreneur? Am I an entrepreneur? Are you an entrepreneur? Do I know any entrepreneurs? Is it genetic? Can I catch it? Is it fatal? Wait, what? The word entrepreneur seems to be thrown around everywhere for everyone doing anything. It's used to describe celebrities and business tycoons like Beyonce, Elon Musk, Marie Kondo, and Jessica Alba. But your brother who keeps bringing up his idea for coffee-flavored toothpaste might make the list too. Entrepreneurs pop up in all types of industries and can have widely different backgrounds. Some build personal brands, while others work tirelessly on a physical product that they believe in. Really, anyone can be an entrepreneur, given an idea and the...
Okay, so here's the multiple choice question. Anyone can be an entrepreneur, true or false? True or false?
True.
Hello? Yes, true, right? Yes, so you just, students click and they submit, and then they can rewatch if they couldn't hear. So, and it can go on. So I'll, yeah. And this way they can
given
continue
an idea
listening.
and the right
And you
tools
see
to develop
there
it
at
into a
this
functional
moment,
business. Together,
at these moments, there will be the questions. It can be either multiple choice, open-ended, true, false. Okay, so while they watch this kind of videos, so they will, as they go, they have to answer the questions. Do you want to try it? So to try it, if you just want to use these, so that you don't want them to sign up, so you can just copy the link here. No, yeah, okay, now I have to assign. Yeah, so you have to copy it to your content. And then it appears in your content. Yeah. You can edit it again. So this is the, we took the ready-made, right? But you can edit it because they're also taken from the students, teachers were developed that. So then you can also assign this and you can create your class. So you can click on add a new class. You give a name, I don't know, group 101, etc. Right? So it's a classic, create class. So you can say assign to this one, you can assign the due date, and you just click on assign. And when it's ready, you click on share assignment, copy link, and you send it to your students, or you can go live. So you can do this live while having the online classes, or in the classroom as well, right? So as long as they have internet connection in the device, if you want. Okay, yeah, so you can try this if you want. So would you like to try and see how it works, or you're okay? Or let's explore
Yes,
how to create.
yes, of course. I haven't heard about this application before. Now I see this is very handy for teachers, and this is very convenient. As far as I understand, we can create the questions ourselves, or we can edit, yes?
Yes, sure. You can create or you can edit. Yes, sure. Yeah,
I like it very much. I would like to use this application.
Right. Yeah. Please do try. So let's look at yeah. And once you assign this, and you know, and students, they when you send the link, so they have to. It asks them to sign up, but you know, they can choose the sign up with add puzzle, so they can kind of put any name. They can just put their names, and they will be there. And the grades will be here. You know, you will see who answered what. For example, I'll show you. So for example, and you will see like that. So you will see how many students answered, you know, and what grades. Well, it's not showing me the grades, but yeah, it will show you how many % they got it right. Okay, so this is the way it works. Yeah. And you can see the questions that you asked. So this is all the questions that they got it right or wrong. So this gives the kind of a summary, you know, for statistics purposes. And then you can see, okay, like most students couldn't answer this question, for example, right? So like probably I have to work on that. Okay, so this gives kind of grade book for you. So let's look at how to create your own. So let's say you couldn't find what you need, right? So you want to create your own. As I said, so you can choose any video from YouTube, for example, or you can search it. You can go to YouTube from National Geographic, TED Talks. Let's go to TED Talks, right? And we see I don't know, microeconomics. I don't know if it is it. Okay, nothing there. Say economics. So you see, it gives you different videos. You can choose the one, and then you can create your own questions. They are already the versions, so that means that other teachers created for that. But if you want, you can click on edit. Okay. Then you go to. Could you please mute your microphones, Abdurrahman? Okay, thank you. So you go to this edit, and then it asks questions. Then you have to choose multiple choice question, open-ended question, or just a note. So multiple choice question can also be true, false, right? Because you just can write in one of the options true, and the other one you can write false. So that way it will be so. For example, here you write the question, and then you can write the choices, right? True, false, or like A that, A, B that. So you can just write your, if you want another answer choice, you click it here. And you choose the time where you want it to appear, right? So when they hear, they listen to the video, right? And at what stop,
many artists and writers were living there at
what time you want to post, right? So that they have to answer the question in order to proceed, right? Open-ended questions also can be done. So, and then again, they can type their answers, and then you will be able to see them. In under open-ended questions, you can also add pictures, even if you prefer, you know, so you can type the question, etc. Okay. You can also do the voiceover. Okay, so it doesn't work with YouTube, but it may work with other types, but usually you don't need it, but just in case. Mostly you need just go to finish questions. Once you're done, you just click on the finish. and then you just assign. If you want to share it with your colleagues, with your coworkers, other teachers, you can click on duplicate, or you can click on share preview. So then you can share these with your co-teachers, right? So that they can use it. Here, public, you can make it private, if you don't want to share it with the public, and make it public or private. And the good thing is that it works with any type of video in any language. It can be in Uzbek, Russian, whatever. So you can use the videos. Well, I know we're talking about ESP, but just in case, so that you know. Yeah, so you have different channels here. You can explore. What else I can mention? I also downloaded the Edpuzzle extension for, it's called, you can download Edpuzzle extension for your internet browser. In this case, Chrome, right? And then whenever I go to the YouTube, for example, or any video, the logo of Edpuzzle is already there. And whenever I'm watching something and see like, oh, I like this one, right? So then it can just immediately go from there. I'll show you. I just didn't want to share everything that's on my YouTube suggestions, Okay. Here, for example, when you do some search, right, or you're watching something, then here you see edit with Edpuzzle. So this logo will already be there. Any video that I'm watching, and then you can click on it, and it will bring you to the Edpuzzle so that you can work on it. Okay. Yes. Any thoughts? Any comments? Questions? Yeah. It will bring you here. So here you have to move to the place you want to put the questions, right? And then you click on questions, and then you place your question wherever you want. Okay. So, comments, questions?
Actually, this is great app we'll use in the future in our classes.
Great. Yes. Great.
Thanks.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So just wanted to mention that the free version, you can use 20 videos. That's the limitation of the free version. But you can delete and then put up a new ones, or if you want to receive more storage, you have to invite a teacher, and you just have to copy the link, this referral code, and when you share, and then if they use this referral code for each kind of teacher, you will get 3 spaces, and they will also get it. So that's the kind of good thing about it. Great. So yeah, thank you. That's it from me for today. And I think, yeah, this Edpuzzle helps us, I think, to, if we come back to the Sivara, so let me mute you. So yeah, if we come back to the principles that I mentioned at the beginning, so I think they said, so because it encourages mainly it's active learning, right? So they just don't just sit and listen, right? But they kind of engaged in this. They have a prompt feedback, right? So they can see whether they were they got the answers right or wrong, right? So that you can emphasize the time, so you can set deadlines, and it is high expectations, so because you're assigning real world videos, right? And that's one of the things that many students dread about, they're scared about, right? So saying the videos are probably difficult to comprehend. And I think it respects diverse talents. It's great, as we said, for visual learners, for auditory, and for tactile, because you know they're clicking the buttons. Yeah, that's it from me for today. And now, if you have any questions and comments, I'll be glad to answer them. And you can use them in the classrooms as well, right? Not only in online teaching, during the in classrooms as well. You can also, I think, assign this for the summer break, right? So that they they kind of keep up with their English, right? So you can choose several of the videos and assign these to them.
Sure. Thank you very much, Nodira. It was really interesting. For example, as for me, Edpuzzle is something new. I really would like to introduce carefully and use it. Be ready for September.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and you know, from my own experience, I remember once from the Zoom, I learned, if I'm not mistaken, Madina did the Zoom Toontastic, and it was a bit challenging for me. The good stuff, I just decided to use it with my students, and they helped me to learn it, you know.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I know what to do in general, but students, you know,
Yeah.
then they helped me a lot. Then when I just said them, hey, you know, we can do this. This is something to try it on, but we have to try. and I would like just to come back to the first slide about 7 principles, and I really would like to you to comment on the one of the principles, giving prompt feedback. You know, the interesting thing, I always compare my students from past and my current students. You know, the students now are always ask feedback, but I remember before they didn't ask feedback, you know, or when they asked feedback, they expected something positive, and that's it. Yeah, but now students know the value of feedback, and they really expect the valuable feedback from us.
Right.
So could you please focus on this, and especially during the online teaching, it's we have to be a bit careful with giving feedback, because sometimes students are asked in front of all, not face to face. Face to face, you may be more free, but when they ask in front of all, you have to be very careful, because students are very sensitive, you know. You have to choose appropriate vocabulary, you have to emphasize very carefully. Yeah, could you please just share with your experience on this?
Right. You're absolutely right. And it is great to know that students are kind of have that mindset that, you know, they want feedback. And it is true about anyone, right? So you should know, we as learners, right, we should know whether we are doing right or what are the areas that we need to improve, right? And to get constructive feedback, it's not enough even to say, oh, well done, good job, right? So excellent, right? It's not enough, right? So that means like, it's a kind of fixed mindset, right? It's not, it doesn't promote growth mindset, right? So you have to emphasize the areas they need to work on. If you think that they're intimidate, so one of the feedback can be different, right? So it can be these auto-graded activities, right? They're also feedback, right? When they see like the correct and wrong answers, right? That's also feedback. But if you mean kind of extensive feedback like in writing or in speak, like kind of oral feedback, you can just record your voice, right? Yeah, you can send it if you're using Telegram group, right? So you can just send it individual message to your student if you're using Moodle, right? So there are always options to send them oral feedback, right? Or I also video record my screen, you know, when they see kind of their essay, for example, right? It's easier for me to comment on it. So I use Loom. And so I share my screen and I just record my voice saying here, this is the wrong. So it would be nice to do this and that. If I could answer your question, if that's what you were asking.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I like the idea of recording the voice message and sending to Telegram. Yeah, this is a good idea. Yeah, thank you.
Right, yeah. And then Loom, try Loom. I mean, if you have kind of, you know, if you want to show their mistakes, right? So like you can use Loom, right? You can share your screen and record, you know, it's up to 5-minute videos that you can record. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. And thank you for mentioning the Fantastic. That's the one that we showed with Madina for listening and speaking. And I actually put up some playlists, some videos that we have on our Mentor Hub YouTube channel and the webinars that we conducted in the past. So if any of you don't know what is Quizlet, I have a very short video on that. Digital tools, there was by Nurhan from Dubai International School. So she shared the tools that she has been using. So for listening and speaking, besides the one that Gulnora mentioned about Fantastic and Voicethread, that we showed with Madina. There is another webinar. There was Nazima was here. I don't know if she's still here. She also made an excellent webinar about different websites and tools to develop students listening and speaking and making these online lessons or in the classrooms as well, right? So more engaging. Another webinar that I conducted was on teaching pronunciation. There are also some fun tools, online tools or technology, web-based tools that you can use for developing pronunciation. Writing also did that. And then in general, the basics of the kind of overview of the synchronous and asynchronous types of online education. So I'll send you this. I'll share this with Nazokada, and hopefully she will share this with you. So that you can explore any of these videos if you haven't watched them. And then we have many participants ask if you can get certificates, you know, for some purposes. It might be a good idea, right? So yes, you can get certificates for any of the webinars that you watch on our YouTube channel. Another slide that I created here, I've just shared some websites for teaching business English, it was a kind of quick search and some of them that I know. So it might be a good idea for you to explore. Mainly they are articles based on some articles. So kind of to have a balance, right, between text and videos. HBR, Harvard Business Review, I think it's good for higher levels, but they are just articles. They don't have tasks attached to them. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for participating.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was really
Thank you very
helpful.
much. It was very informative.
Great, thank you so much for participation. Yes, I hope you will have a great summer break. Yes, and you'll get recharged your batteries.
Thank you.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. It was a very good idea to invite Nodira.
Yeah. Okay.